Village, Illinois, and Gary Holcomb. Would like to talk about that? You should have an invoice in your packet regarding this.
First of all, I'd like to read
Is that one up here?
pardon?
Is that like that?
Yeah,
Speak up a little.
okay. First of all, I'd like to read a small statement. The Housing Commission had to reevaluate what direction we needed to go after the state canceled our grant that was used to cut grass, knowing fully no matter what we did, we would be attacked. 2014.
It's not picking you up.
Are the batteries dead?
Yes, we did.
Try this.
Oh, because then it has to be plugged in, and it will from then.
Otherwise, you're just gonna have to think about it.
2014, we cut 161 properties twice a month, yet people still attack us because we were unable to cut all the way to property. 2015, with our limited funds left over from the 2014 program, we had to decide what the best use for those funds were. We decided to and prioritize the best use of our funds while looking at other avenues of funding. We decided that properties along Sauk Trail needed to be cut, as this was light that everyone has the ability to see. Second, we decided to cut properties next to schools that pose a danger to children, knowing full well, regardless of what we were trying to do, that would be attacked. It started the first week. Once we were offered to take part in the Sheriff's Renew program, removing abandoned properties, we knew it was something that truly would make a difference. Cutting grass was only a small temporary solution. Abandoned properties, cutting grass, was a no-brainer. Now, at last, when we are being attacked, knowing that there is a lot of properties that need to come down, no matter anything we do, it's better than doing nothing at all. People need to understand you just can't take down anything just because it is abandoned. There are laws that govern how and why we can take down the property. There's a long legal procedure that has to be followed regardless, and we know regardless, people will attack us for not demolishing property near them. We know there is about 170 properties that need to be demolished, and in time they will all come down. But factors that prevail are funding, the law, the time. This procedure is scheduled to take 2.5 to 3 years. And I included pictures of the remaining 6 homes. The one at 21734 has come down. It started yesterday, and it will be down by the end of the week. I had put, I don't know if anybody's going to do, but I had put the timeline in everybody's box. We actually started this on April 21st, and we didn't actually start the demolition until a week ago, at which time we took down 3 houses. One of the problems we ran into in the timeline was, and I would like to point out that Ed Myers has been persistent in this project from day one. And we had a meeting on June 25th with the sheriff and the county, at which time the county told us that they would cover dumpsters and the abatement and the inspections. We went ahead and signed the agreement. with the sheriffs to start the program. A week after that, the county said, oh, by the way, it's reimbursable funds, you have to pay up front. She said, I couldn't get them to give you the funding up front. So we needed to have the initial 9 properties inspected. Housing had enough money in their fund that we went ahead and had the inspections done, of which 2 of them had asbestos. We were required by law to remove the asbestos before the demolitions could start. 2 properties remaining was 1830, 215th Place, and 2108, 222nd Place. The houses is just enough money left over that we recovered the 1830 room, which is in the amount of $1,210. The remaining amount I need to ask the village for, which is $3,825, with the understanding that once these 9 homes are done, we submit the paperwork, and this will be a reimbursed product. I'm ready for the question.
Trustee Gates.
Commissioner Hogan, are you getting any complaints from next door neighbors about dumpsters or anything like that that we should try to address?
No, the problem we ran into is we had projected, and I have to let everybody know I'm very nervous on behalf of the Housing Commission and Housing Committee in Winter Republic. And normal dumpster fee is $800. He got it for $325, which turns out to be only the dumping fee. We're not being billed for the dumpsters themselves. We're only paying the dumpster fee. We had projected, and Sheriff had projected 3 to 5 maximum dumpsters per house, depending upon trash in the house. The first 3 houses that we took down took 14 dumpsters. And the problem we're finding is that the house that is at 21734, 3 months ago when we first started this program, Sherry and Sue and I entered the house, and the only thing that was left in there was dry dog feces on all the floors. Nothing else was in that house. Yesterday, when they started the project, they went an hour into the project and they filled the 10-yard dumpster. When they entered the property yesterday morning, in the living room, approximately it was a 12 by 14 foot living room, and it had 3.5 to 4 foot of trash piled up in it, and they removed 75 bags, 9 TVs, and mattresses and everything. People had sticked in the back doors and are using them as dump sites. We went right away. We went around and checked the other houses, and pretty much the other houses are all in the same situation. The first 3 houses we took down should have wanted that 9 dumpsters, but there was 5 dumpsters of trash in those 3 houses. The people aren't complaining. Actually, we get cheered, they get cheered. Each time the bulldozer goes through the house, they get a big round of applause from the neighbors.
Madam Chairperson,
Trustee Max.
I did visit the area that it was removing it, and I did speak to the residents next door to it, one across the street, and a couple other ones came by. They're happy. They couldn't be more happy to just get the building down. Because one that's it has been that particular one has been torched 3-4 times, and they're appreciated all out that we just get rid of it, where the kids won't get in there and try to torch it again. And this way, she says one of the neighbors commented that she didn't know how many times she had chased her own kids out of there, and kids would be kids. So it's they did a good job. The area's cleaned up, and there is a little dust going around, but they're very careful in removing it. And the team's good. I mean, I sit there and watch them for about half hour, 45 minutes, and even the deputy that was out there with them, they're pitched in and out too. But it's And I know the neighbors and the residents appreciate it.
One of the things people need to look at as far as the expense goes, Park Forest, just finished doing 5 miles. They have a subcontractor that solely works for their village, and he owns his own dump trucks, and all they pay is the dump fee plus tear down the house. And they have a contract with him as long as the house is under 900 square foot, it's $15,000 a house. Chicago Heights, Mayor David Gonzalez for me, they tore down 5 this summer, and they have to wait a couple of years to turn it down anymore for the simple reason that it ran from $20,000 to $30,000 per house, and that was without removing the foundation. He removed the building identical to the one we removed on Peterson, but the apartment was in the center, so they had to take all 3 of the remaining ones down. And he had the foundations taken out, and that was an additional $35,000 to remove 3. What we did the other day, we had the expense of the initial inspection, which is minuscule because the average inspection price we were quoted was $400 per property plus $20 per sample. And so we equate out to about $700 a home to be inspected. The man we picked was the one that the county really rated high, and he did it for $1,575 for all 9 inspections and samples. But also the sheriff's department, I actually talked to Derek about it, and I talked to Ed Myers and JW, and in the end we decided also, the sheriff says, what do you want us to do with the foundation? And knowing that Chicago Heights paid $10,000 for each foundation, we told them to stay. So that actually added 3 dumpsters to the project, but that was the whole project of those 3 houses.
Mr. Burns?
2 questions, Mr. Holcomb. First question, how long are they going to continue demolishing the houses this year? Are they going to stop at a certain date?
They do it 365 days, 364 days.
So this is not
Christmas Day, but they do it New Year's.
or even if it snows, they're going to be doing it?
They could care less.
Okay.
The guy sitting in the heat of gold.
Okay, so this will be going until we get to the first initial 9, correct?
Correct, and we have to, matter of fact, Sue, Sherry, and I, anybody that's willing to help, we're selecting 20 more for the sheriff's list to start next month.
Okay, and my second question, is there a way we can draft a letter, a proclamation, a thank you or something from the commission and the committee to give to the public? We need to get, yeah, we need to get that.
I had sent an email where I suggested that we both give them a letter of appreciation from the village, and then the House Commission would furnish a certificate of appreciation.
And the village do the same.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Trustee Myers?
Excuse me. Did you say the Howland Commission is going to draft that letter, or we need our clerk to draft it?
I'll get with Debbie and we can decide how we do it. One of the other things that I did want to bring up.
Can you use the mic, Gary? Sorry.
One of the other things I did want to bring up is initially, when I first contacted Ed and I had discussed it with the county, and Gene Hornstein informed us, who's the head of the developmental and environmental for the county, that she had multiple lawyers sitting around with their thumbs up their tail, nothing to do with it, that they would do the initial, all the paperwork. Somehow things got twisted or whatever, and it was assigned to Matt Ryan. And once we assigned it to the village lawyers, the review program has to continue with the village lawyers. I can't use the pro bono lawyers for it now. So I talked to them, and Ed and I, correct me if I'm along, Trustee Myers. Trustee Myers and I talked to them, and at the end of the whole project, I can do if I can also submit for reimbursement of the water fees. Somehow we're going to have to figure out what they actually did for this project.
Madam Pro Tem, I was gonna ask that question is, because I didn't want it to come through our itemization listing for the lawyer, so this would be something separate?
Correct.
That would be
And
presented
the
separate?
lawyers would have to endorse it when I send it to the county, and then same as we will do, they will wait till the county pays it. It will not be billed, it can't be billed.
But did you say that they had a pro bono person to do it?
25.
They had people to do that was gonna do it pro bono. Why would they pay a outside lawyer?
Because there actually is the, and Trustee Tate should probably relate to this, is the Illinois legal fund. There's actual fund, or if your village pays out for county projects and stuff of this nature, the state will reimburse.
Okay.
They say that.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because if they had taken care of everything, we never would have even gotten the bill. It would just been over and done with, but now it's gonna have to take that process, that extra step.
Correct.
Okay.
But it's again like guidance. I was waiting in the wings this afternoon, and Ida called me and needed to change number 10,050 to the my quarterly report to Ida. So,
Madam Chairperson, let me get this straight now. County has offered their lawyers or their law firm to assist us in processing this stuff at no cost. Is that the way I understand it?
what it actually evolves around is 2 years ago, when we were looking at properties from a tax bid audit, and there was 41 properties that we were considering, but the law firm quoted $27,900 price tag to do the paperwork, submit for any of that type of business.
So we can submit the stuff to their attorneys and they will take care and assist you and process it, and we don't have to go to our attorneys. Is that what I'm understanding?
No, because once we initially used our attorneys,
We have to stay with our attorneys.
they with our.
But there is 140 other homes out there that we haven't dealt with our attorney yet. Why can't we?
Hopefully, I'll be able to talk them into that.
Okay. But they did offer their assistance, so.
2 years ago, and then they reaffirmed it in April when we first started up this program.
If we can get
That's
some.
what Sylvia.
Yeah, I remember the meeting,
If you remember, Sylvia brought that exact.
right, she sat right there in the corner and
Right there in the corner.
the sheriff and said that.
And told Sheriff Winters and the rest of us that they would do that. And then when she took it back, the county board said because we'd already instituted the use of our own lawyers, finished with our own lawyers.
Okay.
Just to clarify or comment on, what the commissioners spoke about and I'm not sure the complete name, but it's the financial legal aid, I'm not sure what the whole name is, who should have, in reality, spearheaded the program that would have eliminated us from using private attorneys. But as it turned out, they weren't doing it timely, and they weren't following through, so, and I commend you for sticking with this, because I know how hard it must have been to work through the county and to try to get something accomplished.
Well, excuse me, Justice Tate, but what you have to understand is the county told the whole group that was assembled for this project, including the sheriff's office, Matt Bryant sat in on that meeting. They informed us that they would take over the law part and all that, and I said, that's fine, and everybody was agreeing with it. It was 2 to 3 weeks later, we had to look at the timeline. But they came back and said, oh, we can't do that. It's like I explained to trustee Burgess. They say they're gonna do this, I'll believe it when it gets in my hand.
See, and what happens on this, now, the commission certainly could have gone back and said, okay, we'll sit back and wait for your attorneys to figure out what they're gonna do and how they're gonna do it. But this could have taken another year, 2 years before they came to a final decision on what they wanted to do or what they would do.
No, as we finish each stage, and correct me if I'm wrong, trustee Myers, as we finish each stage, the 9 properties, we only did 9 because we couldn't come up with enough. We only had 26 hours to get the package in, okay, when they finally decided to go with it. So at each stage, at the end of each stage, we're in stage 1, the first 9 properties, we will submit all the paperwork, and it will be paid through CDBG funding. There's a separate, I can forward everybody, there's an actual separate CDBG funding for demolition. Debbie was at a couple meetings where we actually discussed this with the county.
All right, thank you.
So as you guys can see, on the next agenda, we will be voting on this invoice, pay this invoice. Does anybody have any questions about the invoice? I think Gary stated what the balance was, the remainder of the balance that he would need from the village, and that once this was completed, that would be reimbursed. Does anybody have any questions about the process of the invoice, or should we move on? All right, say none. Thank you, Gary. Item number 3, a resolution urging Illinois state leaders to release non-general fund revenues payable to local governments. Everybody should see this resolution. In the packet, you will see a resolution as well as a letter from Mayor Hanks to Governor Browner.
Ms. Pro Tem?
Yes.
I don't know, I just looked at the, I think they went through the House, I think it's gonna go through the Senate that they're passing right now. So I don't know if this is gonna be a redundancy or, and also this is something that IML put out. I see that it was, or where it wasn't authored. Yeah, I see that it was authored by the mayor, but it was actually put out by IML because I saw some copies on their website that they were spearheading this and they put this out. I see he sent a copy of this particular one to Brad Cole at IML, but I don't.
believe that this was a forwarded letter that IML asked.
Right, they asked for everybody to do it, but I'm just asking now, do we need to do this? You know, since you're just waiting on the vote, which will probably take place in the next hour or so from the House.
The mayor by now will go inside and wait. He said yes.
Guess
We
what?
still need to pass the resolution, and we still need to follow the paperwork. So he said, carry forward. He's in Springfield an hour ago, and they're still there, but he left. So he said, please move forward with the resolution.
I would assume just in case, since they're still in the voting process, just in case we're on, as a village, we go on record that this, that we support.
Okay, I have a problem with doing that. I'm just wondering would it be redundant, but that's, yes, I mean, I'm for them trying, especially to get our money, but I was just wondering was it a need for it right now. But if you said that he told you that, then I guess it's up to the board to vote on it.
And that'll be at the next meeting. Any questions? Any other questions?
Well, I have questions, but the mayor's not here, and he could better respond.
Okay.
Is he going to be here for the next meeting? You don't know.
He left Springfield about 5, I think. 5 or 5:15, he's on his way. He actually left before it was over, so he's still in the process. So he hopes to be here soon.
Excuse me, any other questions? Then, I'll ask for a motion to adjourn.
Excuse me, there's no public comment for this meeting?
Seconded.
We have a second?